Hey kids, we're back. This is part 2. There's not a whole lot left. So we left off with really define your historical event. Go through the questions on your folder to do this. Your group wrote those questions down that I just showed you on the slide at the end of part 1. Do part 1 of your exit slip. And part 1 of your exit slip says name your historical event, what do you already know, and what questions do you have? What do you want to know? It's a good place to start for research. And then as you read, you're going to add more questions and look up things as they come. Then you're going to begin your research. What's happening in the real world around this event? Include primary and secondary sources. Put this information in your shared Google folder or in your physical folder with your group. Your group should have shared that with you already, the one online in Google. And when you come to class, there's a physical folder here to also add things to. And then do part 2 of your exit slip. Part 2 of your exit slip is mostly questions that are worded like on SBAC. So they're tasks that you'll that are worded a certain way and are specific kinds of tasks that you'll also have to do in SBAC. So it's good practice, but it also gets out some good information. So also timelines. Because of the way we have these set up, we don't really have them by eras. We have them by categories. And so timelines may or may not be helpful. So I kind of went over a bunch of different ways to do it. But if you have a dual vertical timeline where you have historical events, real life things on one side, and the things that are happening in your book on the other side, often that's helpful. It's a helpful way to organize what's happening in your book alongside of what's happening in the real world, or what was happening in the real world at that time. But I gave each group the option. If this kind of timeline is not helpful for you, then you don't have to do this kind of timeline. Maybe you'll do a different kind of timeline. Maybe you won't do a timeline at all because it's not helpful. Maybe you'll do just a 2-column thing where you have real life stuff on one side and fictional stuff on the other side. You need to make it useful for you, because the real goal in doing research during this is for you to better understand what's going on in your book. That's the key. So, they did that in class. Plan how much reading you're going to get done tonight. You need at least 30 minutes. If you were to meet with your group and find out kind of how far they're going to read, that might require more or less minutes on your part. Take notes in your reader's notebook, and that includes not only things that you're learning about the character and what's going on, but also questions that you have that you might want to research. Be prepared to share all of your new insights tomorrow on Thursday. All right. Have a good night. If you're sick, hope you feel better.